Yes! And slip you some Boogie We Will It. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Fringe FM. Coming at you live from the middle of nowhere, the center of everywhere, here once again to give you yet another scrumptious dose of conversational boogie. This is Shift Happens. Ugh. That's right. What's happening, everybody? Do follow us on Twitter at Shift Happens Pod. You can follow me, Gigi, over at GGRabbit1. And also joining us tonight, as per usual, is our co-host, JP. What's happening, JP? He's there somewhere, I promise. Oh, there he is. Oh. We got you now.
Oh, good. I gotta to them and beat and just start talking right, and it's like walking right into a wave. This is the first time in 18 years I did not file an NCAA bracket for the NCAA college basketball tournament, and I typed in the board here, it's the end of the world. I mean, really, I used to love sports. I can't stand them because I think everybody now knows just how prefixed it all is, and coordinated and choreographed is the word I was thinking of. And so I don't know. College basketball may be a little different, GG. I don't know about if you like it. For me, March Madness is awesome usually, and this year I don't even have a bracket.
Oh man. Yeah, I do love me some basketball. Before I found skateboarding, basketball was my thing. That's what I did. And although I've got to say, I've never really followed the college league, never really, I never know who's who or where's what in the college basketball. But the NBA, though, big fan of the NBA for a long time, until I found skateboarding. Then all of a sudden, I just stopped paying attention to basketball whatsoever. But I do love me some NBA 2K. I do love some basketball video games. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Those are some of the best. I still remember long nights of tournaments playing Coach K on, I think it was the Sega Genesis. And me and roommates would play for shots until, someone would pass out.
There you go. Wow, Coach K. That's
Coach K. It was the best. It was the best. They never improved a college basketball video game, at least that I played. Oh, I'm sure they have, but in my mind, it'd always be Coach K.
Wow. So a buddy of mine had that game. We never played it. We usually ended up playing NBA Live. Remember that? NBA Live 95, NBA Live 96 on the Genesis. And yeah. So what was Coach K? Was that more of a simulated, like a basketball simulator, I guess?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's all it was. It was just college. It was college. It was same as the NBA, just college version. So at the time we played it, and I want to say about that same time, maybe early 90s. I want to say maybe mid 90s or late 90s, and no, late 90s probably. And it was great because it was probably the last time. You know how you say you never really followed college basketball. I never was much I'm not too into it where I'm like get obsessed with a team or teams. But at that time, I knew every all the big teams. I knew all their starting fives. I knew all the players, and even in the Coach K game, it just had their number. So you had to know who the player was if you really kind of wanted to, access some of the talents. If you wanted to get the best players, you'd have to know their number. So it was a tricky game, but if you knew college basketball at the time, you had an automatic cheat built right in.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a cheat code. Yeah, knowing who the player is, and because at that time and up until very recently, college players were not allowed to be sponsored or get paid. But I think didn't they change that very recently? Now they're allowed to have sponsors and endorsements and get paid, right?
Yeah, that actually that is different. Now it's more common. Not every team is in on that. There are teams that still don't. They stayed true to the tradition. I think it was always far, far better. It was always less about the money, it seemed, even though it was. But, those guys were still getting in trouble for gambling on their teams and all that, no doubt. But at least from the fans' POV, it felt just super genuine, and it was so much faster than the NBA. It wasn't as good, like the players weren't as good, but it was so much faster, and the NCAA tournaments were mind-blowing. There was just like these incredible, buzzer beaters, and it was, and we would go to Vegas every year. It was like a big thing for me and my friends. We'd get our brackets, and one dude we knew had a bracket pool, and it built up, and every year it just like exponentially had more participants. It's like the most organic thing I've ever seen. I think like when it went from probably like $30 or $40 for whoever won the tournament to this pool where the winner was got over $100,000. There were that many people into it, and the dude just bailed on the idea because of the IRS and all that stuff, like all the heat he was going to get. So it got too hard with all the technology and everything building up so fast. So I think there was probably some crackdowns on some of those huge pools, but it got insane. And so, March Madness, is always this thing. It was always super entertaining. Love to be in that atmosphere. And now I have no interest. Hardly any at all.
And that's the thing about college. I can imagine there being a little bit more. There's more to play for in the college because you've got potential careers at stake. You're playing for a potential career. Whereas once you're in the NBA, you're already there. There's not much to play or fight for. You know what I mean? But so there's that little extra motivation for those college games. Because you're really trying to stick out for those scouts. You know what I'm saying? But now let's see. Okay, so Brad Harris was here, our associate producer Brad Harris, but he had to dip out with some family duties. But he says he will be back in a little bit. But also, we've got a special treat for you guys tonight. Joining us as a guest co-host, guest panelist for tonight's Talking Shift episode. You know him, you love him from Sacred Journeys Within, the one and only Drew Banky. What's happening, brother Drew?
Dude, I'm here. I'm glad to be here and hanging out with you guys.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks for coming on, especially on such short notice, too. Very cool.
Oh, all good. I was just on with Margie K over on Onyx, over on the Onyx network, and I just got off, and Brad got a text from him and said these guys are going to be on and hanging out and invited me on, so I was like, sure, why not?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So how'd your show go with Kay?
It's good, quick. It's only an hour, so it's it's you're just knocking on the door with an hour with me, like so.
Yeah, that's not enough time.
No, but we got it in and whatever. It was good.
Right.
Got a lot of other stuff brewing like always. So, and just take care of the baby a lot, And it was 8 weeks and 5 days we spent in the hospital. So from time he was born, from time release. So we just got home like 4 days ago, I think.
Already.
It's nice being home.
Yeah, I bet. And yeah, we got to see little Hawk. You guys can't see because we're doing audio only here, but we've got our cameras going for us, and we got to see little baby Hawk making a little appearance on the camera. That was cool. Looks nice and healthy, and he's soaring like the Hawk that he is.
Yeah, he's doing great. Really excited.
Fantastic. And now, real quick, for those of you guys that are in Arizona or anywhere around there, a lot of our friends and a lot of folks are out there for Suzanne Ross's conference out there in Sedona, going all the way until Tuesday, I believe, and starting today. So if you do have the chance, make sure to go out there. I know Jeff Rennell's out there, John Polk, Eric Awakening Man. Jimmy Church is going to be out there on Saturday. Then he's doing that thing in Phoenix on Sunday as well. So there's a lot of stuff going out there in Arizona this weekend. So definitely check that stuff out. And yeah, definitely go to Suzanne Ross's conferences. She puts on a lot of good conferences. They're always out there in Sedona, and you definitely want to go check that out if you can. Because it's a little more intimate out there in Sedona. There's not so many people. It's not just a crazy fiasco like like Laughlin or Laughlin was pretty chill too. But it's nothing like Conscious Life Expo or Contact in the Desert where you're just overwhelmed. You actually get a chance to talk to everybody, and it's really cool. So I would be there if I could, but I can't, so I'm not. Otherwise, I would be. Believe you me. There you go. And so tonight,
if he would, he could, but he can't. So he just ain't. So we won't.
Yeah, I was trying to find something that rhymed.
Wow, that's like a Dr. Seuss.
I try. We try over here at Shift Happens. We try.
Yeah.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is just another edition of Talking Shift. What is Talking Shift? Well, it's basically just an evening of open lines and fielding questions from the chat rooms, and us just hanging out with no particular agenda, just having a good time here. Just imagine us hanging out around a campfire, having some drinks, having some smokes, whatever you do, whatever tickles that fancy button of yours.
Blowing down some lines of Coke or something.
Yeah, hitting the slopes. Yeah, whatever you need to do.
Dude, all serious. What about that moon last night?
What about
the energy?
That?
I heard a lot of people talk, but I'm getting feedback from somebody.
Uh-oh.
I got that too.
Uh-oh.
Is it Brad? Did he leave his headset on?
No, he's muted. Let me, boom. What about now?
What about now? What about now? I don't hear it now.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't hear it now.
That's weird. We've never had that problem before. But,
no, the moon last night, I heard myself, like, man, it was a full moon last night, and it was like the solstice moon, Everyone talks about the solstice being on a certain date, but really it's dictated by the planets and everything, So the moon said that last night was solstice, and man, the energy last night was insane. I seen a bunch of people posting about it, and yeah, if anyone's calling in tonight, that could be one of many subjects that we talk about.
Fantastic. So, is there
I'd like to, also note it really does depend on where you live in, even in the States here. Apparently, people report different actual, times for the solstices and the equinoxes. So.
Yeah, isn't it weird? But it just I think it should just go by the planet or something like that. Even when it's like New Year's, like we celebrate 4 different New Years in the United States. Like you could get in a car, you could get in a plane and celebrate 4 different times. How silly is that? So we're just playing this silly ass game. It's like that. If you go by what's the real, it is like, okay, the moon says it's solstice right now. Like,
it's nice to get everybody's energy going, together and all that. I like that kind of thing too. But it does, it does affect different areas.
Get into the nitty gritty of it. That's of design of why they made it, so the energies would be split. So we wouldn't have all the energies focused together. That's why there's 2 political parties. There's so many religions, this, that, and the other. If we have our minds going every which way, we're not going to be able to manifest in one direction. Now, once we start looking at the moon and everyone being like, okay, now it's here solstice, we're gonna go and not look at 50 different calendars of different different times off just a little bit, a day here and there, an hour here and there. So we can never get on the same page. I think now we're getting on the same page. I think this is what's happening now on a collective scale. I think we're slowly starting to do that as an amoeba, as this huge amoeba, as a collective source.
Yeah, I remember the original reports were that the 20th would be the equinox, and the energy was off the chain last night, and this week kind of it ramped up, and it felt like crescendoed into yesterday, and even today, still a lot of energy out there, a lot more, just a lot going on.
I was
that time of year, anyways.
Dude, I was walking around the house last night, and I had to think for a minute. I was like, did I eat a mushroom? Did I eat a little bit of peyote and forget about it? Like, I'm sitting here going through all this stuff because I'm seeing, like, I'm almost seeing like visions, like, and there was nothing. I was just walking around, and I looked outside, and the moon was coming up over the mountain. I was like, there you are. I was like, that makes sense. And then like through social medias, I seen people talking. They're like, is anyone else feeling this energy? So I'd be interested to see if anyone else felt some crazy energy last night with the moon, like some other than normal, other than like other, a normal like full moon. Was it different? If you've had an experience, call in. Let's hear it. Like, now is the time we share these experiences. Like, now's not the time to put them in a diary and throw them under your bed. Now is the time to share them so we can all put this puzzle together.
There you go. And I wonder if St. Patrick's Day had anything to do with the vibe yesterday. I don't know, but man, I was so tired yesterday. I only got
not if you're Scottish.
Yeah.
It's all about perception.
Right. Yeah.
Gigi, you're saying you were tired early last night. I was done. I was out at 10 o'clock, 9:30 or 10 p.m. my time. I was out and never got... Did you go to sleep early, or was it just sort of early?
I went to bed at 8. 8 o'clock. I was done. And
that probably never happens to you. It never happens. Like, very rare that I go to bed at 9 or 10. 8, that's early. That's early.
Yeah, the night before, I only got an hour and a half of sleep. I mean, I literally laid there and what's the past tense for stare? Stared. I just I want to say I was about to say stood, but it's definitely not stood.
I just stood up. I just stood there beside the bed. I
just stood at the ceiling.
Those movies where the like they have like the creepy horror movies with the people standing beside the bed for like hours, and just like it's a home video and just stand there. I could just picture Gigi thinking about going to bed, but just standing beside the bed.
I just stood for hours.
For like 4 hours straight.
I did not fight it. I knew I was done. I put on some meditative music, and I was out. That was it. I woke up, I think at, this is kind of funny. I don't know if you watch any of those kind of like long, they're like 3-4 hour meditative YouTube videos. And some are 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah, like where they just like play a frequency or a couple of frequencies and you just kind of...
Frequency, and they'll give it a title like...
Dude, I got...
Free yourself from anxiety, or lose depression, or...
Right.
Unlock your IQ, or not your IQ, but you unlock your hidden intelligence. And so I'll listen to one, but what's crazy is I'll play like a 3-hour one. So 3 hours into my sleep, it ends and goes into another one that might be about lose your guilt. And I wake up, I notice a difference, and it's crazy every time. It definitely has a different impact on me. Good or bad, I'm not sure. I think it's good.
I subscribe to that, dude. Oh, this is mine right here. Oh, shit. It's 528. 528 music to manifest miracles into your life.
Nice.
There you go.
I
do it. I'm at the wrong camera here.
Yeah. There you go.
That one.
That's the good stuff right there.
And it's, what is it? It's over 3 hours. So you want to have one that's at least an hour, because you want to get into like your third stage of sleep in that. And I've been doing that for a long time with these frequencies, and especially that one. And even writing something, I got the little chalkboard that I use for notes for shows and stuff. But sometimes I put like a note on that and put it beside the bed, so I fall asleep and be looking at that and have this playing. It's all some weird magic, man. Like we're all wizards. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
All you have to do is do it.
Yeah. Be it.
Yeah, man. And, well, I'll tell you what, we are up against the first little break here. So let's go ahead and take that. And hopefully Brad will be back by the end of the break. He will be back at some point, folks. It's never quite a shift happens without Bradley at least chiming in for a little bit. So hopefully we'll get that happening. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Shift Happens here for the Fringe FM. I'm your host, Gigi, along with our co-host, JP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're also joined by Drew Banky from Sacred Journeys Within. And we'll be back here in just a few short musical minutes. Don't go anywhere. Ow!
his drinking and lusting and his hunger for power became known to more and more people, the demands to do something about this outrageous man became louder and louder.
I came to LA to make rock and roll. Along the way I had to sell my soul. I made some good friends that make me say I really wanna be in LA. I took the 10 to get to Beverly, laid some rock to tape, roll out on 180. Alan and Natasha always make me say I really wanna be in LA.
And we're back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the Fringe FM. Welcome back to Shift Happens. I'm your host, Gigi, and tonight we are doing Talking Shift, which is open lines if thou wisheth, and fielding questions from the audience, or even if you just want to hear us talk about any particular subject, you don't even want to call in, or you don't have any questions, you just want to hear about something, feel free to put those in the chat rooms, and which we should probably explain for those just listening how to get to the chat rooms. That would be a good thing to do, and we'll do that in just a second. Also joining us is our co-host JP. What's happening, buddy? Perfect. Yeah, that's... And, one day we're going to figure that out. Now, we're also joined tonight by Drew Banky from Sacred Journeys Within, coming in last minute swinging. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, so for those of you just listening, I'll go ahead and give out the call-in number. The call-in number is 928-208-4464. Again, that's 928-208-4464. And I'll give it out again in a couple of minutes once... I love how some radio hosts, they just... be like, hey, call in live, 1-800-244... And then they just keep on going. They don't give you a chance to write that shift down. So for those of you that are slacking a little bit, we'll give that number out again. That's 928-208-4464. And, so here we are with Drew and JP. And, man, I don't know. I've got to say...
You go
ahead.
I was going to ask Drew, because he said he did a show earlier, and at an hour, you kind of feel like you just kind of are getting warmed up in a way. What were you on? Not to get into the topic if you don't want to, but like what was something that you really wanted to get into that you felt an hour just couldn't let you get into?
Great. Yeah. Good.
Well, what we're going through now, Whenever I'm first time on a show, like especially with a new audience or a mixed audience that maybe never don't know about me, I have to go through the military, I have to go through the ayahuasca ceremonies, and I have to go. Really, I want to be talking about what's going on right now. Like our DNA's being changed. Like we're becoming a different species. Like, holy shit! Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is going on right now, guys. Like, this is what's happening. Our DNA is being changed to a crystalline form. A carbon is being taken out of our physical body, and we're being changed crystalline. I just barely got to touch on it with Margie K. That I think people are feeling that the sun and these astrological events and major Earth events, people are starting to recognize that they're feeling them with their body as like a tuning fork in a sense, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about ships anymore. I don't want to talk about crafts. I don't want to talk about encounters. Like, these are all stories like that's got us to this point, but like we could talk about that all day. It just seems like we keep talking about the same thing over and over again when the big conversation is they're staring us in the face. All of us are feeling like, oh, we're feeling different. I'm feeling evolved like I did like over the past 6 months or the past month, or I feel different than I did a week ago. Things are moving rapidly and we're all starting to feel it. Why don't we talk about this? Like,
yeah. So what do you think is the cause of this change? Is it is it part of the cycle? Is it a cyclical thing? We're at this part of the cycle, or is it, or so it's probably a little bit of a few things. There's that. There's also the alignments of the planets and the constellations. That's probably contributing to that as well. Also, decisions that we're making as humans on this planet. That we have our sovereign rights to make, that's also probably contributing. What else is contributing to this change? Like, why is this happening now?
It's part of chance, but it's also part of design, and it's somewhere in between those two, a mixture of chance and a mixture of design on a large scale. And that's ultimately what's happening. We're seeing biblical times play out. We're seeing stories play out that's played out several times in the past. We're just seeing them play out in our timeline, and we're seeing what it looks like with us as the characters of these biblical times. I truly, honestly believe that's what's happening right now. Why it's happening, it's of design, and we're also choosing to do it. Like there's more of us that's standing up every day for these plants. That's rivers in Europe, and man, I'd be lying if I said what country it is, but I know there's countries where they've given these rivers like the same rights as a people, like, so you can't harm it, and like anything that you do against it is an actual crime. Like it would be the same if you did it to a human being. So people are starting to wake up and give rights back to this earth and started to treat it as what it is and not just a commodity. Starting to look at more of a partnership. I think that idea is spreading more and more. It started in little pockets over time in the 60s, the hippie movement, but it wasn't strong enough to shift the tides. But now you have off-grid living, you have World War III starting, you have more people on solar. You have people, the psychedelic renaissance happening.
Yes.
You have the UFO renaissance happening. So you have all these paradigm shifts that are happening simultaneously.
Right.
The Earth can withstand a few of them and maintain its order, like the order of the 3D order or whatever, the order of the order. But once you have multiple paradigms happen at the same time, then the energy starts splitting in different ways and starts multiplying in different ways where they can't control it anymore. And I think we're to that point now. I hope.
I had started hashtagging post-truth reality. Or like post-truth world, for kind of a description of where we are now. Like, I feel like people have reached the apex of maybe certain fields of thought and philosophies, and also just even more importantly, just us kind of like, well, I'll speak for myself, everyday kind of guy. There's people that have risen to the level of understanding what it means to be whole and to stand up for yourself. And even if it's one or two, it's certain. People are catching on, and I mean that's how organic this shift has. It's felt like at a point now where a lot of you guys, not to cut you off, Drew, but just real quick.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You guys could join so many different styles of and groups of people, and share your experiences with all of them, and that.
Oh, looks like JP dropped a little bit.
He's in that spaceship, dude. It's probably got bad reception wherever he's at. JP, you got bad reception on whatever planet that you're on in that spaceship.
Yeah, we lost you for about 10 seconds there, JP. And we lost him again.
I think where I was just going.
Okay, now we got you.
There's a delay. Oh, there we go. And now I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, I don't know. I could do that. That's about all I can do. I don't know if that helped. Okay, I think JP's going to join back in when he gets a chance. And here he comes. Hopefully with a fresh, brand new internet Wi-Fi connection. If it lets him in. Yeah.
Sorry.
There it goes.
How do I sound now?
You sound fantastic.
All right. Well, that point might have been blown, but I was going somewhere, and luckily I landed on my feet here. So.
Right on. And I've got to say, I'm. Oh wait, yeah, Drew, is your mic? Are you on?
I coughed, so I had it muted. No, I was gonna say, JP, if you could recall any of it, I was really digging where it was going. So if you could bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know how far
too.
back I got. Is it still going? I don't know. I was talking about just where we are. We've come to the apex of certain areas of thought, and and the average person like me has used their ability to break through so much programming, and I've heard a lot of different people doing it in different ways, but the ways they're doing it are resonating on a greater level, and you can see the censorship, you could see the battles against the information, right? If you're aware enough, you've seen it. The next great battle, I've been told, is going to be over search engines. That getting data from search engines may be a thing of the past at some point, and because they're just too effective. They're just, anyways. I think that's where I was going.
Yeah. It doesn't it kind of mirror what's going on with our consciousness now? Like the way the internet's expanding and everything, it's kind of mirroring how our consciousness is expanding too. Like it's, there's more and more of a Ram Dasses out there walking around than there was in the time of Ram Dass.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah. And I remember when I was young how great a Ram Dass sounded, and like, whoa, how mind-blowing it is. And now it's far more common, and it seems, I don't know if we're walking into a trap or not here, but it seems more compartmentalized, so you could really get to what you want to know if you know what you want to know, and you can refine those searches, and you can refine what it is.
Man, there's just so much out there. Like
my last point, Drew, is there's also a problem in that some of those sources are disappearing. Their book burning is very real.
There's a lot of digital book burning that's going on, and that is about to start, and that is trying to start. That's probably the best way to put it. That's trying to start.
Think about, to add to your point, really, how much has happened to blow our minds. Like disclosure has happened over the past 4 or 5 years. It's been happening pretty much every time the news comes out. Disclosure happens, and people are still asking, when is disclosure going to happen? It's the old saying that even you're asking for an answer, and you're asking a question, and the answer is so crazy that when the answer is given, you can't even see the answer. And this is what's happening on a huge collective scale over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, and
it's insane.
It is.
It is, and I'm really excited. I mean, out of all the things that are emerging right now, the disclosures that are coming through right now, the two that I'm the most hyped on. One is the whole UFO disclosure, which is it capital D disclosure? Maybe not yet, but damn if we're not pretty damn close. It's certainly good. I mean, it's being taught. I mean, I remember hearing Tony Hinchcliffe saying the other day, he was like, "Man, UFOs are real. They're talking about it in the news, but nobody's talking about it because there's too much. There's a couple other things happening in the world right now.
There's World War III, man. Like,
yeah, don't mind World War III starting right now, but it is cool to see that
all designed too.
Yeah, it's if these UFO disclosures, whether it's the Pentagon or TTSA or Lou Elizondo, all this, you name it, where it's coming from, it's all out in the news, it's all in the media. If this were happening at any other time, that would be the number one shift being talked about right now in the mainstream media, but it's not, because there's a couple other things going on. So that's one thing I'm hyped on, is that's happening. But the other thing I'm hyped on, which has been going on a little bit longer than that, is the whole psychedelic awakening, if that makes any sense. I mean, it starts off with, as a little appetizer, medical marijuana happening slowly but surely, state by state in this country. And then, of course, you've got people taking huge leaps, like Oregon. They just said F it all, right? You can do whatever you want, but
do whatever. Oakland.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard
Oakland had the same.
And I've heard interesting things that and I don't know if this is kind of conspiracy work, but I've heard the United States of America Inc. is no longer, and it truly has become more of a republic, the United States of America, where new laws will be passed where you absolutely cannot grow anything that's regulated. Regulate anything that's grown. I'm sorry, I just said it backwards, but you know what I meant.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, I did know what you meant, but I'm glad I do, because that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've just read that, and one other thing I was gonna add about, just because you brought up World War III, and I thought maybe some of the listeners might kind of think this is kind of very JP of me, but I don't know if you noticed, when we talk about programming and everything, the LA Rams won the Super Bowl, and of course Ukraine is involved in a war, and it's just kind of ironic. I found that both the Rams colors are that same blue and gold as the Ukrainian.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that either.
I saw it about a week ago, and I'm like, that's kind of a mind blow. Wow, some programming going on there.
Wow, there you go.
It could be programming, or you could look at it like signs that the universe. I would take that as a sign that the universe is saying it's not that as serious as it looks. It's just a game. Like that's what I would say.
Well,
And
I made a meme saying exactly that. I said,
really?
My meme said the world is a stage.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I feel that so hard. I feel that so hard, man. Like, my son, just everything that happens, like my son being born on 1/11, like, I didn't make that happen. The universe decided that was going to happen, and he was going to come on 1/11, and his due date was 4/4, and there was a meteorite that both me and my wife saw when we were going to the hospital on January 10th, and he was born on 1/11. We both saw it. It was like one of those ones that it was changing colors through the atmosphere, and it was going in line, going towards the city that we were going to, and yeah. And then there was a big asteroid that passed by the Earth. It was asteroid 40 YD48 or something like that. It passed by the Earth on 1/11, the size of the Eiffel Tower, and that passed by the Earth like within an hour of Hawk being born. That passed by the Earth. So it's like when you start seeing how big the stage is, it's like, phew, you gotta take a deep breath, man. Just keep enjoying it, and just realize it is that big, and just let it keep unfolding. It'll keep showing you how big it is.
Yeah, and man, I like I was saying earlier, back to the psychedelic, almost renaissance, you can almost call it. I mean, I know in California they passed the bill to where mushrooms will be, psilocybin mushrooms will actually be legal, not even just decriminalized, but actually legal. And Washington D.C. did the same thing, and it's happening. And I've always found it kind of ironic that some of the most powerful natural tools that we have on this planet, whether it's ayahuasca or psilocybin or what have you, or even just marijuana on a smaller scale, it's always been crazy to me that these tools are the most illegal things, right? Like DMT, for example, is the single most illegal thing federally in this country that you can have, which is crazy. That is so crazy. That's so crazy. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Yet
our bodies make it.
Yeah, and yet alcohol is legal, and you have alcohol ads on the side of the highway right next to your DUI lawyer ads, right? You got that going on. But DMT's illegal? What? Unbelievable.
Anything that stops like a money cycle or threatens to interrupt a money cycle is always going to have pushback against it.
Right.
And to make a point about the contrast of ayahuasca, Soul Quest in Florida, they have like 80 people every weekend for ceremony, and that's every weekend, like every weekend of the year almost. In the same state, my buddy Roman Gomez, he's facing charges right now. He got busted with it's like 50 gallons of ayahuasca.
Oh,
and
boy.
He's everything he had was I know this gentleman very good, and he was all his everything he was doing. He was in the process of forming his church and getting his statement of beliefs and everything in order, and he got raided, and now he has to go to stay out of federal prison. He has to denounce the plants and everything and go into drug treatment for a year, and he's getting off with that. Luckily,
well, that's lucky. Yeah, he
had to really. He asked me what I think I should do. I was like, Roman, it's hard for me to say, but if I was in that position, I don't know what I would do. But being in this position, I would say trust the plants and fight it, but you just got to do what you want to do. But he's going the other route. I'm not judging him either way. How can you judge it? I mean, no, it's 60 pounds ayahuasca, 60 pounds ayahuasca.
That's a lot. Yeah.
But he used to work in TV and everything and broadcasting in Missouri. And so he had pretty deep pockets, and he was just wanting to give back and provide a space and a thing, and it's just weird. Like just 100 miles apart, you got one operating with impunity and another guy facing 20 years in federal prison.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing to me. Yeah, because that sounds more like what he could have gotten. Is look at
Gigi, look it up right now. It's Roman Gomez out of Naples, Florida. It's it'd be on. You can look it up on Google.
I will actually.
Roman Gomez in Naples, Florida. Sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but
wow, Google actually automatically filled it in, and I didn't even have to finish the sentence.
It's a pretty popular case, and that's a really close friend of mine. He's an awesome dude. And
wow.
It sucks he had to make that decision, but
yeah, I mean the law will scare you. It'll scare you like that, and rightfully so, or maybe not rightfully so. But yeah, totally understandable to kind of back down under that kind of pressure. But it's just a matter of time, whether he could just, once he's done with his year of treatment or whatever, he can move to somewhere like Colorado or so.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he wanted to spread the message there in that area, but unfortunately, as this awakening is happening, it hasn't quite reached everywhere yet. So hopefully he can find somewhere else.
Man, it just sucks.
Yeah, but we're getting there. We're getting there, though. We're getting there eventually. And what was that, JP?
I just said among the things he was charged with possessing was 5.5 grams of suspected bufo toad venom wax.
Yeah, the bufo avarius.
That's like getting arrested for cat urine. Like what?
What the?
Like,
what kind of trip is that?
Like you're going to arrest somebody for having? I mean, not a plant is one thing, but then having the discretions of an animal—that's illegal now too. Like, I mean, I get it, but
the bufo avarius, like it's it's being really targeted in Florida right now, very heavily. Again, that's another one of these medicines and traditional ceremonies that will connect you back and show you truth and disrupt the structure of the system that tries to control us. So it's a push. They're pushing back definitely in that area, and I think Bufu. That's what kind of opened up the discussion into Roman. But Roman's a great guy, and he had a lot of support at first. Like right when this happened, there was a big demonstration at the courthouse and everything. People come down and said they were going to support him in fighting this, and I told Roman, I was like, if it sounds like if you got this support and everything, this might be the time to make a stand against the federal government.
Yeah,
because they don't want to take on a third case. So this is what a lot of people don't understand. The federal government, if the DEA comes in and they bust someone for ayahuasca, which if they're busting someone for ayahuasca, it's going to be the federal government. It's not going to be a local government. It's going to be a DEA. That means it's going to go to a federal court. The way the federal court works, if they have 3 cases that adjudicate in favor of not the court. So if it adjudicates in the favor of the person and not the court, and if that happens 3 times on 3 separate cases, then it can become signed into law, and then the law trickles down from the federal government, goes through all the governments, and the law changes completely. That's it. Because there's case law. So what has happened with ayahuasca? There's 2 cases that's on the books now, and they do not want to take on a third. Roman would have been the third with 60 pounds of ayahuasca. That would have been the third case. I told Roman if he's got the backing to go for it, like make t-shirts and turn into the 60-pound ayahuasca man, and go at him full steam ahead and make him either press charges or not on you, because I feel, and this is all speculation now, I feel that if he would have pushed the issue, they would have not went to trial.
So he's officially not pushing the issue.
He's officially not pushing, yeah.
He could have been the guy.
I feel that he could have done the 60-pound. I mean, that would have been a heck of a t-shirt. A 60-pound ayahuasca guy, like he's right there on Google. You type him in, and obviously Google with the algorithm and everything. He has the algorithm for it already.
Yeah, man, and wow. Well, I wish him all the best, obviously. And
he's a great guy. He's got a dance studio. He's doing good. He's doing fine. He's getting to keep out everything that he has. So, I just spoke to him yesterday, a couple days ago. Yeah, we checked in, and he's doing good. And I'm glad that he's made the decision that he's comfortable with, and that's what it's all about. That's with anything. It's about what's right for you.
Right. Yeah, because there's all kinds of factors that go into that kind of decision.
Right. You can't. I mean, I can't. I don't know where. I can't put myself in his body and look out of his body from his view, and where he's at, and exact everything that every factor that I don't know about, but he's still got his 15 minutes of fame, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
He's always got to be known for having 60 pounds of ayahuasca.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And wow.
There you are.
Yeah, there he
yeah,
is.
I'll try it again. I'll probably have more audio problems, but we'll see how it works.
Right on. You know what you need to do is plug in your old Ethernet cable. Get rid of that Wi-Fi. Unless you're already doing that.
And then go to Wi-Fi.
Oh, wait, JP, are you muted?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. But,
It's that spaceship. It's that spaceship he's in.
I'm just, yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, the audience can't see. JP's got a beautiful spaceship as his background.
I am the commander of this ship.
Yep, he's got a biosuit to his left and some control panels to his right, a little rocket in the background. Nothing like a rocket carrying a rocket, right?
Still no signs of our boy Brad, though. Darn it!
Still got that luscious picture there of his hair and everything. Just his hair looks very good in that picture.
It does.
Very luscious and
Very luscious.
yeah,
Looks like he just got done conditioning it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a post-condition photo. Absolutely.
no callers, no question. We haven't seen many questions yet. Maybe it's a slow night in the chat room.
It is a little bit of a slow night, although we're trending pretty good on TalkStream Live. But yeah, slow night in the chat room, which, well, that reminds me, we never really explained how to get into the chat rooms. For all of you first-time listeners, we should probably do that right now. There are a couple of chat rooms here if you want to chime in your piece just in text, or if you want to call in. That's where we're giving out the call-in number. We'll give it out in the air as well. But real quick, the easiest way to get the main chat room is over at Spreaker. That's where most people hang out. So if you want to go to the Spreaker chat room, the quickest way to get there, listen to my voice. I will guide you. You go to www.shifthappensradio.com and you scroll down to the middle of the home page, and in the episode player, right underneath the current title, you'll see a little speech bubble icon. You just click that, bam, you're in there. You just got to make a little name for yourself, and then bam, you're in there. And that's the main chat room. That's where you want to go. Now, if you do want to go over to the Fringe FM chat room, which serves not only for this show, but for all the shows on the Fringe FM, you kind of want to go there too. So the quickest way to get there is go to www.fringe.fm and scroll down quite a ways on the homepage until you see it says something like chat together. You'll see the Discord icon. Look for the Discord logo right in the middle of the homepage. And click that, bam, you get an automatic invite into the Fringe FM Discord, and then bam, you're locked in forever. And so either one of those is, and I've got both chat rooms pulled up. I've got Spreaker on my left, Discord on my right, and I can see everything. And also, if you want to call in, we do have, now, we're having to rely on Skype tonight because we don't have our usual Fringe FM call-in system that is so awesome. We're going to have to get that back. But right now we've got Skype. So the Skype call-in number is 928-208-4464. Again, that's 928-208-4464. And there you go. Feel free to do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. There you go. Do what thou wilt. With all that information.
Oh, and I got my third attempt at Twitter. Just started today. So go over there and hit me up. Give me some love. Drew Banky over at Twitter. The third time's a charm. Third time's a charm.
What's the literal handle? Is it at Drew Banky?
It's at Drew Banky.
Okay.
I'm just being who I am. I'm just raw.
And
I'm just raw.
It's raw, and it's spelled just as it sounds.
Yeah, it's not. There's no raw. There's just it's Drew Banky.
It's just Drew Banky, but it is raw. Yes.
Maybe it should just be Ra, R-A. Dude, can we plug any music, like that link that I sent you, that Dirtwire at Ramdas song? Man, that people check that out.
Yeah, I wonder how I would do that.
I'm just plugging it now. People look it up on and we could, if we're allowed to play it, it'd be awesome to play. But it's a long one, but it's got a clip of Ramdas in there that he's speaking about his experience in America Hotel in Salina, Kansas, when he overdosed on LSD and become one with the universe and all this stuff. And man, it's
and I've
had that experience. I've had that exact experience,
So
and
have
I think for people to listen to that, I'm sure that there's tons of other people that's had that experience, and I think now's the time that we all start really talking about that, like talk about our oneness moment. You know, it's not you're not crazy for feeling it, and I think we've all had a moment like that, but we're all afraid to talk about it. But that
Right.
the Dirtwire, I found on SoundCloud. The name of the band is Dirtwire, and it's Ramdas Mid America Hotel.
And so is that track, is that in the playlist that you sent me through the text earlier?
I sent you the link to that song.
Oh,
and
that's
it's,
specifically that.
Dirt-
Okay.
Yeah, Dirtwire, 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 and the song is Ramdas and
Nice. Yeah, that's what I'm going
Ramdas
to be
Mid
doing
America
tonight.
Hotel.
That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Absolutely.
Sick song, dude. It's a sick song. They're a great group. I can't wait to. They're playing at a festival close here in a couple months, and I'm hoping to check them out.
Nice. Very nice. What festival is that?
Ella Banky has that information. I'm not privy to that information until we get closer to the
How
time.
dare you? How dare you not know this? But yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, she keeps up on all that stuff. But
Right on. Well, thank God for her.
yeah, she's amazing.
Absolutely. And
Dirtwire, they're great.
yeah, I've also got to ask, Drew, how's the dread life going? How do you like it? Are you glad that you got the dreads and you're down with the maintenance that's involved in such a process, or do you wish you never had them?
I got some updates. Check this out. I
noticed there's a couple of
4.
things going on there. Yeah.
I've trimmed off 4, so I got the whole Viking Warrior on the side. So I got
okay. Yeah.
and
Okay.
that made life a whole lot easier by sleeping, and sometimes I put it up in I can braid it and put it up, and that's nice.
Nice.
So it took a little getting used to, but yeah, I had a few nights where I freaked out, dude. Like I was sleeping, and I woke up in my sleep, and I'd be like kind of claustrophobic, like oh shit, like.
Yeah.
But
So are you glad that you did it? Are you happy with
yeah,
with the
yeah,
dreads?
I like it.
Nice.
It's part of who I am now. So,
Nice.
but you got a
Beautiful.
problem with it?
No, I'm just curious, because I was thinking because I've got long hair. I mean, it's not dreaded, but it's probably like it's about as long as yours.
Right now?
Yeah, but mine's not dreaded. So your hair's literally
Yeah,
longer. It's just dreaded up, but
My-
the total length is about the same.
My hair, if it wasn't dreaded, it'd be down to almost pretty much my waistband by now. It was almost to my waistband when I dreaded.
Wow.
It was 5 years of growth. When I had in some of my interviews, when I have double braids, they would go like almost to my belly button when I'd be doing. I miss that. I do miss my double braids. I do miss my braid, but it's nice. It's got to a point now where they're cool and they're set in and.
Nice. So how exactly do you, this might be a stupid question, but how do you...
There's no stupid questions, Gigi. I love you, bro.
How do you...
Just let it rip.
How exactly do you, clean your hair? Like, how does that go?
That's why I have horses. So they say urine is the best cleaning. So I go outside and use the horse urine, and it's best if it's direct.
Right on the dreads. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the dreads. Horses when they piss, it's 2 to 5 gallons. So they're just dumping on. No, it's I wash my hair pretty much normally. I wash my hair like once a week. But I wash like just the top,
the scalp,
really,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the ends really don't get washed. They get washed about every couple months, and they get soaked like in basically a dread bomb. It has like it's three different stages of it, but one of it has apple cider vinegar and just different things like that.
Yeah, because one of my buddies...
It's a little different dealing with dreads, but...
Yeah, because one of my buddies that had dreads, you actually look so similar to him. It's actually pretty trippy. When he had dreads, that is. But he used to use like a combination of some sort of apple cider vinegar and honey and some sort of tree tea oil or something, and he would put those on there. And that was his... That's how he kind of... cleansed the actual dread parts, was using that kind of stuff without messing it up,
Yeah, you do a lot of rolling, like I'm always like rolling, like that's especially in the beginning. I don't do that a whole lot anymore, but in the beginning you do a lot of that until they get like this is it's kind of squishy, but it's got form to it, it's not like. And this is an elk tooth. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but
no, not on
this
here.
Is
what's the elk tooth about?
This is a cool thing, dude. This brings up a cool story. This is from an elk that I killed with a knife, by the way, a bull elk.
Real quick for the audience, Drew is holding up a dread, and at the end of the dread is an elk tooth latched on to the end of the dread. Okay, now let's hear the story.
So this elk is the very first elk that I ever harvested. I just took it last April in New Mexico, but it got hit by a car and it was dying, but still very much alive. And I didn't have anything else with me. We called the sheriff's department, called Fish and Wildlife, and it told me that they're on the other side of the state. It's going to be like the next day before they get there. And they gave me permission just to harvest it, and I didn't have a gun with me or anything, so I had a knife, and me and my wife went out there. I lassoed it, and my wife held it down, but it was very badly injured, and but I killed it with a knife. Yeah, I jumped on its neck and killed it, and really had some really deep spiritual moments during that.
I can imagine. But
this is a whole cool other story, though. I love having on there because it reminds me of that moment that I got to share with my wife in the mountains. It was just a beautiful, a picturesque moment, like very harsh part of life, but being there with my wife and harvesting this elk in the mountains, it was very. I was weeping, as while this was going on.
It must be a trippy experience.
But elk there's 2 teeth that are ivory, This is a whole other cool part of the story. They have 2 teeth that are ivory. So in the front of their teeth that they eat with, there's 2 teeth that just barely show. And these little, just the tips will be showing. The rest of those will be up inside the gums, and just the tips will just be showing. But check this out. Rewind this about 10 to 20,000 years ago. These things
Would have been
were
tusks.
like 16 inches long and tusks coming out the elk's mouth.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're ivory. Same as you would get from the ivory from an elephant. This is the same composite ivory, and it's found in every single elk has 2 of them, male or female. They both have 2.
Wow, it seems like they would only benefit from having tusks. Why would they evolve out, out of the picture?
Well, it's the predators get smaller. You got to understand, the predators used to be really a lot bigger. Like,
Yeah, that's
everything
true.
everything used to be a lot bigger, man.
Yeah, that's true.
My Bobby C. Billy, spiritual leader of the Miccosukee tribe, one of my mentors, he's passed away, God rest his soul. He was telling me, old medicine man, Native American medicine man. He was telling me a story one time. He goes, I think it was like 7 or 8 generations ago, a story had been passed down through his family, and they talk about trees that went past the clouds, that you could climb a tree and go up past the clouds. And this is how this was only 8 generations ago.
Wow. Yeah.
This is oral history that got passed down only 8 generations, and there's trees that went into the clouds.
I wonder, and it makes me wonder, and this is, I've never heard this before about the elk teeth. Incredible. But what if...
Google it.
No, I'm not saying it's not
No,
right.
I'm just saying Google it. If you're listening, Google it. It'll blow your mind, some of this stuff. The elk tooth thing. Just Google elk ivory, and it'll pop right up.
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind is, what if for generations and generations the elk tusks were actually being poached, and it just naturally became something that...
Man, that's, who
I
knows?
wonder if there's a more biological or
I think
evolutionary process that...
I feel...
I bet they were poached at some point.
It could be mineral. It could be a mineral-based thing, as far as dietary and mineral base, and then they lost a large part of their diet.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
I think, and a couple with a decrease in need for protection, and this doesn't take. This is an interesting point. This does not take into account how large the antlers were. Were the antlers very small and they had large tusks, so then they transformed into a different form of protection and started to develop the antlers over time. That would be something to look into that I'm not privy to.
Yeah, I don't know, but knowing us foolish humans, we probably did poach them at one point, I'd imagine, just like we do every other tusk that exists in the world.
They're almost poaching antlers now. Like there's people buying antlers, and just the price just keeps going up every year. Like there's more and more people out there shed hunting to just make a couple $1,000s from shed hunting for finding a couple elk sheds and stuff.
Yeah, but man,
and there's people out there that has been doing this for generations, that they look for antlers for spiritual reasons, and the antlers are used for different practices that now are starting to become harder to find, because people are using these antlers for dog treats and things like that. Like it's
yeah. And so with that, the one elk that you knifed, did you Did you get some elk meat out of it? Did you?
Yeah, I ate them all.
Oh, so you got all of it. Okay, well that's a good
Yeah,
use.
that's
I mean, what else are you
actually
gonna do with a run over elk? That's a good way to make the best of that situation.
Yeah, he made me that situation. I was only eating fish and a vegetarian, and I was pescatarian before that happened, and that was the sign that I took. I was like, okay, this is in front of me. I guess I'm gonna have to start eating meat again. So that's when I started eating wild game, and so I eat elk and bison now from time to time.
Nice. And how it? I don't think I've ever had elk. Have you, JP?
I have had elk, but probably that in jerky form.
Oh no, I mean like real. Yeah, not jerky.
Not
form.
real.
Like
not like a sirloin. Yeah. No.
Like an elk sirloin or something.
It was
I have
amazing.
Is
their
it good?
Sausage.
It's great meat. Bison, buffalo, and elk meat is it's really good meat for you.
That's what I hear.
The buffalo is really good for connecting you to the sun and things like that for spiritual reasons. Elk meat is if you're lacking love in your life or love for yourself, elk meat is good. That's what Native American way. That's elk is like the god of love.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what. We skipped our second break, which is just fine, and but we will take this commercial break real quick, and we'll come back and get right back into it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Shift Happens here for the Fringe FM. I'm your host, Gigi, along with our co-host, JP. And we're also joined tonight by, you know him, you love him, from Sacred Journeys Within, none other than Drew Banky. And we'll be back here in just a few short commercially minutes. But don't go anywhere.
KTOK Digital Broadcasting, The Fringe.fm, Napa Valley, California, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Tired of talking about the weather? No, Shift. Well, Shift Happens is here to fulfill your desires as you reach that point in life where you crave tantalizing conversation about reality, ufology, the occult, and the conspiracies within, while simultaneously finding yourself desperately in need of your very own theme music, which we've got plenty of that too. So be sure to tune in to Shift Happens every Friday night from 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on the Fringe FM. Because the weather sucks, and you need some theme music.
Ever seen an extraterrestrial? It can be hard to believe they exist unless you've seen one for yourself. What if I told you I've seen them my whole life, but have never had a witness who shared the encounter with me? Now, what if I told you I saw 4 of them, 2 with blue skin, and there are over 20 witnesses to this CE5 event? My new book, The Blue Beings, Visitation at the UFO Conference, documents actual accounts from real witnesses, many of which have gone on record to attest to this otherworldly reality. Be a part of the quantum paradigm shift that is taking place right now. Go to johnpolkmedia.com to get your copy of the Blue Beams Visitation at the UFO Conference, on sale right now at johnpolkmedia.com. That's JOHNPOLK media.com.
This is Ronnie LeBlanc, author of Monsterland, Encounters with UFOs, Bigfoot, and Orange Orbs, and you're listening to Shift Happens on KTLK, The Fringe FM.
KTLK Digital Broadcasting. We rock the paranormal talk.
And we're back. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, for the French FM, this is Shift Happens. I'm your host, Gigi, welcoming you back to another edition of Talking Shift here, where we're just kind of hanging out. We got the phone lines open, although nobody's called in yet. The phone lines are still open. We'll give out the number in just a couple of minutes here. And also, we're open to any subjects or any topics that you want to cover. Just put them in the chat room. Just reach us at the chat room, and we'll hit whatever you want. Same thing for the other chat room as well, over on the Fringe FM Discord. Get there while you can status. And joining us tonight is, well, most obviously, is our co-host JP. What's happening, my friend?
Look who's here, dude. Yeah.
Oh, is Brad back?
This has been a great show so far, but it's just gotten a little bit better.
It's got perfect now. It's perfect.
It's gone nuclear.
It's gone.
You guys are ripping already. So.
It's gone nuclear.
Come on. You got freaking Dream the Zindan over there, just maxing on the break. I love it.
Fantastic.
You got
so, ladies
JP
and gentlemen,
with his space freaking futuristic lab background. I love it.
Yeah. And well, for those of you just listening, which is all of you, joining us now is Brad Harris, our associate producer. What's happening, Brad?
Hello.
Yes, and
man.
And of course,
I'm looking at the chat room right now. It's Debbie is in there, Jess is in there.
What up, Deb?
Yeah.
Just saying hi to everyone. I'm just dropping in real quick.
Brad. No, you gotta stay with us, dude.
Yeah, you gotta stay with us. You gotta stay with us.
I've been just over here silently listening.
Well, now you're here with us. And we're also, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're also joined by Drew Benke from Sacred Journeys Within is here tonight with us, as you've heard. And, well, real quick, let's go ahead. And we do have a caller on the line. Area code 408. Caller, who art thou?
Well, hello, Gigi and Brad and the fabulous Drew and JP. This is Deb from Sacramento.
Oh, hey, Deb.
Yeah,
What's
Deb.
happening?
Up.
Hey, what is happening, you guys? You know, Drew is such a spiritual dude. I figured this was a good question to ask him. Because Drew, you're very spiritual and connected.
I am
And
not.
I've been
No,
thinking-
not tonight. Not tonight. I'm not.
Well, let's see how you wing this one, okay?
Okay.
So, we all daydream and fantasize. Let's say you fantasize about winning the lottery, okay? And when I fantasize about a certain scenario, my eyes are closed, and so I'm very visual, and I see that scenario in my mind, okay? Let's say you go buy a lottery ticket, you're imagining, you're trying to manifest it to happen, right? And this is just one example. So there's that scenario, and then there's the scenario where you have a dream. And while you might be able to direct a daydream, you don't have control over the random things that happen in your dream. I'm thinking most people don't have control over that. And whereas dreams are also very visual and you really see things. And so my question, Drew, is because you're using your subconscious for your dream and your conscious mind for your to manifest or to daydream, is that in fact using your third eye or opening up your third eye, and is there a difference in the consciousness factor?
Great
question.
question.
Anything like that is open up your third eye. I think your overall question is, I guess we'll be trying to figure out what's the best way to harness your manifestation power.
That sounds like yeah. Thank you. You worded it very well. Yes.
The best way is outside the realm of your question, and that would be with a partner, and that would be harnessing the sexual chi, and both agreeing on visualizing the same thing at the point of climax. That would be the most effective way to harness your manifestation power.
That's actually pretty true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Bringing in some Crowley. Yeah.
I had a theory about
bringing in some Crowley. A little Crowley bomb there.
I had a similar sort of situation that this reminds me of that got me in a little bit of hot water. It turned not in trouble. It turned somebody off to what I was offering. And so somebody was looking for more of like, kind of like a therapy type of situation, because I was doing a lot of psychotherapy at the time, but I've been breaking away from that because of just this metaphysical aspect that I really can't bring to work in certain environments. So somebody came to me with a situation. I told them that I was having dreams, but these dreams, and I didn't call it manifesting. It was more like there were like these synchronicities that were happening in my everyday life, and I couldn't explain it. It was like, and it was one loud, very visual dream I had, but I couldn't forget it for days, and there were synchronicities that went along with that dream. And now that the way Drew phrased it really makes me rethink that and wish that I had explained it more of sort of maybe a manifestation. I still can't explain it, but some weird things happen.
I think to circle back to your question, Deb, with dreaming and everything, definitely if you're seeing it in a dream, the first question that you have to ask yourself, what is it? Why am I seeing it in a dream? And if you're discounting it as a quote-unquote dream, then it's always going to be that. But when you start to decide, okay, this is time's as an illusion, there's laws I'm starting to learn about the universe and everything. Time's of illusion, everything's happening, everything happens for a reason, everything's in divine order. And you start applying those laws to experiences such as dreams, then you start recognizing that these are preludes to manifestation or preludes to the future or past events, something outside the present moment. But so I guess your perception greatly fuels your manifestation power.
Yeah. I think I'm resonating with what you're saying, Drew. Okay, well, thank you, guys. I'm gonna go so you can take other calls. Thanks so much, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Dad. Thanks for calling in, and you have a great night.
Okay, you too, hon. Bye.
Wow, Deb.
Cheers to you.
I love Deb. She's an OG.
She's all over. She's all over.
Yeah,
she's like the
OG
she's the
status.
camp mother.
Man, if you're somewhere, like if you're listening to someone, chances are Deb's gonna be in the chat room. Like,
oh, she's on it.
Yeah, she's listening. Absolutely.
Love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah. Love you, Deb.
So what's up, Brad?
Oh man, leftover Irish food.
Nice.
Man, I'm sorry, I gotta go food real quick. So I took over the menu tonight, I'll say, after last night's freaking fiasco. And of course, we got some leftover corned beef hash. And I took that with the potatoes. Follow me. Mixed a little bit of cheese and a little bit of some sour cream in there and mixed it all up and grinded it up all together and then rolled it up in some corn tortillas and made taquitos out of them and fried them up.
Oh, nice.
No,
dude, it was nuts.
No.
That's why
I was okay until
I'm
the
sorry,
end.
dude.
Lord, dude.
It was like
Fried 'em?
it was life changing, man. There was a light at the end of the taquito, and
the only thing that could have possibly made that better, is if you used flour tortillas instead of the corn tortillas.
I did actually. I didn't want to bum you out. I did both actually.
Dude, get out of here.
I didn't
Dude,
really want to.
Flour tortillas are bust.
I did both.
That's it.
Dude, no.
Yes, flour
Gotta be
tortillas.
Corn tortillas.
Nope, that's I believe you mean flour tortillas, my friend.
Corn tortillas. We're west of the Mississippi, dude. We're west of the Mississippi.
Not
this
me.
Is not Midwest.
Not me.
This is west.
Not me. I'm in Austin.
And for you vegan Mexican Irish people out there, I even made a potato, just a potato one for Michelle.
Just a potato.
Four of those bad
I
boys
thought
with
you were
cheese.
just gonna do a potato.
Just a potato.
Potato
That's all you
I'm
get.
sorry.
Just a potato.
Eat it, you Irish. Eat it, you Irish.
And it's raw.
Eat the
dude.
potato.
No, I actually, the leftover all yummy potatoes. What? And there was some cheese rolled up.
Did you put green dye in it, Brad? Did you put green dye in it?
Oh heck no!
Oh, boy, you should have.
I will not taint my food with that color.
Missed opportunity.
Heck no. No.
Oh,
That's like
my
a
dad, when I was
American
a kid,
Irish thing.
my dad, when I was a kid, he had to have his beard. He had a long beard. He would make it green for St. Patrick's Day. Did your parents do anything like that, guys?
No.
No. Just green clothes or something.
Did you get pinched?
Yeah, it was like, don't get pinched. That was
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
my parents didn't. I knew Santa Claus wasn't real when I was 3. They didn't even. They didn't like we figured that out right away. They didn't even try.
What? Santa Claus is real, bro. You're tripping.
Well, I hope he's been missing my house on Christmas these last 20 years. Oh, what, you got to pay Santa now? Is that what it is? Got to leave some... forget about the cookies. You got to leave some money. Got to leave a tip. Got to leave a tip for Santa.
You got to have a decent credit score at least. I mean... At least a 630 or above. Like, you got to have a 630 or above to even mess around. If not, you got to have cash to be Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's why they have the credit ratings. It's all a scam for Santa Claus. You just check the damn databases online and see who's got a 4.0 or better.
Dude, that's a whole nother story about the mushrooms and all that stuff about Santa Claus and how they changed it into just a money-making scheme now. It started off as a real cool thing.
What?
Man, don't make me open this can of worms right now. I thought you already had it open.
Santa's freaking real, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Santa sucks then.
Have you ever heard the connection between Amanita muscaria mushrooms and Santa Claus?
Oh, that's a...
Have you ever heard of the North Pole, bro?
Let's dude, no, this is a great little story. Let's hear this. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
the North Pole.
Sorry. No, the mushrooms and Santa.
Oh, the Amanita muscaria connection?
Yeah.
Between Santa Claus?
Yes. Yeah, let's let everybody know where this comes from. So,
story used to be that sack full of presents that he dropped down through the chimney with, that was full of mushrooms, and on the Christmas trees hanging was mushrooms being dried on the Christmas trees. So that's what now there's ornaments. But the connection and the little people is connected to the mushrooms. This goes deep back into Siberian history. You can look it up, the connection between Amanita muscaria. I don't have it all off the top of my head. I wasn't really prepared for it, but that's the gist of it. That's enough for you to Google it and do the rest of it your damn self.
Yeah,
not you, Gigi, but
freaking
yeah, no, I'm already there. I'm already there.
Yeah, it's a deep hole, but to look at it, it's a good one to go. It's a good hole to go down and figure out the real reason of Christmas.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have to take a little drive-by on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to dive down the hole all the way. You can leave a little safety rope if you want, but it's not one of those ones you have to go down all the way.
Hopefully use some elfish rope that you can reuse afterwards.
Yeah.
Like in the Lord of the Rings.
Thought it,
Sorry.
You could use one of my dreads.
Yeah, just use one of Drew's dreads.
That dread right there.
Elfman. No pun intended.
Dude,
I just thought Santa was a Claus. So I didn't grow up with too much Santa in my life, so
Kadoom.
Just a stipulation. A legal term.
He's definitely a legal clause, for sure.
Is it still under deliberation if you could even speak about this, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Still pending.
But speaking of Amanita muscaria and true legends, one thing that comes to mind is apparently the forbidden fruit of the Bible, when translated to the original Hebrew text, the word that they used for the forbidden fruit is synonymous with red. It's also synonymous with apple, and it's also synonymous with Amanita muscaria. Now, which one makes more sense? They ate an apple and decided they figured out the truth of good and evil, or they ate a psychedelic mushroom and figured out the truth of good and evil. Now, there's a little mind puzzler. Well, it's not really a puzzler. It's pretty obvious to me. But, it's interesting that the same word for Amanita muscaria was used as the same word for the forbidden fruit in the original Hebrew translation of the Adam and Eve story.
I can dig it.
Well, look up the connection between the burning bush in the Bible and the acacia bush that contains DMT.
DMT, absolutely.
So they a lot of theories say that the burning bush was a large acacia bush. That actually was a large deposit of DMT that was actually aided in the vision of in that moment. I don't remember what that vision was, like what happened. I just know about the burning bush. I forgot exactly what else happened there, but I'm sure something really spiritual happened there. But
Moses and the burning bush. Yeah, that happened. But the burning bush. And IPD comes in with a witty comment as always. He says, "What does that say about Steve Jobs?" You know, and that's funny because I've heard. Well, actually, I don't know if you guys get that joke, but you know, the whole logo for Apple is a bite taken out of an apple, but really, what according to people that have worked with him or whatever, what that really symbolized was somebody taking a bite out of the forbidden fruit. In other words, taking a bite out of Amanita muscaria. In other words, tripping balls. That's essentially
there's a term for that.
What that represents. And but in a good way.
That's rad.
And apparently that's what he that intelligent man, that's why he came up with that logo. The Apple, it's a couple of there's a couple of steps to it, but apparently that's what that's based on.
I think we need to do another one of these in a week or two, and all of us take like 3 grams and then start the program of mushrooms, and then start the program like 2 hours into it.
And we'll bring Doc Ram, and he can be our freaking guy.
Yeah, dude. That dude's. I love talking to him.
Dude, Doc Ram is the best. And you know what I was going to say? Your whole answer to Deb's question, Drew, that's exactly what Doc Ram would have said as well. He would have said the same thing. Absolutely.
That's there's no reason to beat around the bush and get ideas on what might work. I know what works. Like, yeah. And that definitely, that's really harnessing the power. And you got to think about when you're manifesting a child, and this is some of the lessons I've been learning here with my newest son. Just deep lessons in life or death, the contrast from last year to all the loss that we had last year and this year. But yeah, learning a lot of how energy works, just in a deeper level. It's just amazing how the lessons never stop. It doesn't matter how far or how far your mind expands in this form. It just never stops, and just the lessons just keep getting better and better and more profound over time.
True that. Really does. Especially when you have a child and a significant other, to look after, and the responsibility of that, and the reflection of, you looking at your child and you see yourself in them, and it's pretty mind-blowing if you take the time to really see it,
Mm-hmm.
So it's congratulations on Hawk too, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Awesome. Yeah, it's experiencing it this time. My oldest 2 kids are 16 and 18, seeing engaged. I was in Iraq a lot, and definitely not in a spiritual mindset. It's really interesting to be doing it from a totally different space and a totally different viewpoint than what I was then and now. Like, from a really deep spiritual point in my life, and now having a child, it's a totally different experience than it was from the first time.
Yeah, for
all,
sure.
all of them are equally beautiful, but this one's just different, in its own way.
Right on. Well, cheers to you on that, and glad to see that he's back in the nest.
Yeah.
Looking good, growing every day.
Mm-hmm. He's eating a lot.
That's good. Keep taking those pictures.
Mom is trying to stay up with him.
Yeah, and speaking of eating a lot, I'm about to eat a lot as soon as the show ends, which is in a couple of minutes. So we need to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up.
It's been great, guys.
Yeah, so real quick, everybody knows where to follow us, but where can everybody follow you, Drew? Where can everybody keep up with Sacred Journeys Within and everything that it is that you do?
Just right behind me. You can be right behind me, and you just follow right behind me. No.
Yeah, but they can't see it.
No, sacreddreamswithin.com. I got my third round of Twitter. Just opened up a new page today. Back on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Best way is to go to the website, sacreddreamswithin.com. It's got links to all the podcasts I've been on and everything I'm about to be on, and we're scheduling all our ceremonies for this coming up ceremony season. So want to have you guys out and let's drink some ayahuasca and unfold our minds a few times and see what happens from that, and let's do that. We could do it live on camera if you want. I don't care.
Oh yeah, no, I'm down.
No,
I'm down.
No live cameras. I'll be running around naked somewhere. Probably, so.
And
someone will be a Sasquatch. So take a picture. They like Sasquatch, dude. It's a grainy video.
I'll shave. I promise.
Man, and you know what? I would like to dedicate this episode to Roman Gomez.
Oh.
Absolutely, 100%. Thanks for fighting the good fight, brother. Even though you're not fighting it anymore, at least you were doing what you did, and that's good. So, yeah.
He made a splash, that's for sure, and I love him. He's a great dude, and everything he was doing was for the betterment of mankind, and it just sucks that he had to go through everything, but there's a reason behind it somewhere.
Yeah, I like the 6-pound ayahuasca man though.
It would have been pretty cool to see that really take off.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go ahead and let me make sure I push the wrong button. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and sign on out of here. Thanks again, Drew, for coming on such short notice.
It's been great, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And if you want to hang out after the show for a few...
Good seeing you, Brad.
Yeah, if you want to hang out for a couple of minutes after the show, feel free to stick around. If you got a boogie, that's all good too. And
I'll stick around, but I'm gonna boogie shortly after.
All right, sounds good. And with that, thanks for everybody that tuned in and hung out in the chat room, and thanks for Deb for calling in and all of that good stuff. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Shift Happens Here. Yep, that was a little loud. That was
my ass.
Yeah, that was a little loud. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. This has been Shift Happens for the Fringe FM. This show is hosted and produced by yours truly, Gigi. You can follow me on Twitter at GGRabbit1, and better yet, follow the show over at Shift Happens Pod. Also, thanks to our associate producer, Brad Harris. Where can they follow you, Brad?
Check me out on Twitter, ADS Brad Harris. Offline. Anyways, hey, man, let me show you guys. JP, you're the best. Man, love you. Drew,
absolutely.
Get in touch with me, brother. I gotta bounce, you guys. Take care. Love you guys.
All right, we'll see you, Brad. And thanks to JP, our co-host, and also Drew Banky for joining us tonight from Sacred Journeys Within. Woo-hoo! And as always, all blames and faults go to Fran. That's right. Hashtag Fran's fault. All right, thanks, folks, for tuning in, but don't go too far, because coming up next, right here on the Fringe FM, is Lighting the Void with Joe Mother Bleepin' Rope. All right. And with that, You guys have a great rest of your weekend and a great rest of your following week. And we will see you here on Shift Happens next Friday. Godspeed. Cheers to ya.